Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. Here we are once again. Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help our students, hi there, our students and other people experience this life. Correct. It is Saturday, June 21st. Can you imagine that? June 21st, 2025. And here we are at Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help. Wait, I already said that part. I'm thinking about where I'm going to be 2 hours from now and something happening during the week. Interesting how the brain does that. Okay, let's start over. Good morning. It's June 21st, 2025. It's almost 6 o'clock in the morning here in southwestern Nevada, west of Sin City, east of Death Valley, south of Area 51. My name is Edward Bevilacqua, and we are here to help our students and interested people on their journey through this life. Right. Okay. And today is a big day, a big day. Got invited to go to TP USA, Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk's organization, or that's what they always say. I don't know what that means. Well, I know who Charlie Kirk is. He's kind of a really smart guy who is a Christian, and he's smart and he's conservative. Well, anyway, they have an event happening in Lost Wages, which I have been invited to go to, but I've got to be there 8. So I had to do the peloton early this morning because I have a 550 something day streak of being on the bike and not missing it one day since Christmas 2023. What? Yeah. Okay, so our theme of today is what? Never up, never in. Also, this is day 6 of week 1 of our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. We're going to talk about that. The gray, heroic suffering, continuation of Viktor Frankl. How do we do it? How do we do what we do? Why do we do? Well, so we're here to help our students experience this life with the belief that we are made in the image of God. We are spirit, but we have a body. And there is a physical body that enables us to do things. We have to honor the gift that we have. So honor the gift of having a physical body that we can locomote, that we can do things like all other animals. We can get from here to there to here, up and down, left and right, do things. Addition to that, good morning, what not a bevy. In addition to that, am I visible today? Am I visible, what not a bevy? In addition to that, we have a brain. This brain is the most complicated thing in the universe, other than the universe itself. So we have been given a gift of a body, so we can do stuff, we can get around, we can make things hanging on by our fingertips. We can locomote, we can do things, we have a body, we can make things, etc. We have a brain, we can think things through, we can imagine things, we can remember things, and we have emotions that we need to learn to control. So we want to use this body, this brain, and our emotions to enable us to experience this life. Boom, good system, as Simon Sinek would say, good system. We don't want to squander the gift we have. We don't want to not honor the gift that we've had. If somebody gives you a bicycle as a gift, and a gift means it's yours to do with whatever you want. It's not a contract. It's not a bargain for exchange. It's not an investment. It's not a loan. It is a gift. And you honor the gift by using the gift for its intended purpose and to honor the person who gave you the gift. All right. So we help our students and other people experience that gift. We also believe that our spirit continues after death. We have a transcendent soul, and that what we do now when we have this body has an impact on what happens next. So if we're going this direction, we'll continue that direction. If we're going in that direction, we'll continue that direction. Another good system. And say, well, how do we know what we're supposed to do? So if there's a creator, we are created, and we're supposed to go this way, or we can do whatever we want because we have free will, but it's recommended to take that path. Well, what are we supposed to do? And if we believe that Jesus is who he said he was, then he made it very clear. Love God with all your heart, mind, soul. Love one another as I have loved you, and make disciples. How do you love God as I have loved you? You follow my commandments. And as Jesus said, if you love me, you will obey my commandments. You'll do the will of my Father. Okay. So that love one another. As Lucy would say, How do we do that? Well, we can look at Beatitudes, and we can look at Matthew 25, 35, and 36 to help the hungry, the thirsty, the sick, the unclothed, unhoused, and visit people in jail, incarcerated. We can do those things. And that's all we have to do. Yep, that's it. Okay, so let's move on. How do we make things happen here? Wait, what happened? How do we make things happen here? Well, mainly it is the worksheet. That's where the experts are. That's where the magic happens. That's where we've got the real experts, except today is G.school, so we only really have Seth Godin, our TED Talk, Daniel Amen, our prayers. Okay, but normally during the week, we have the real heavy hitters. So we learn from them, but the secret is what? Good habits. Create a good routine, and then repetition. Do it over and over and over and over again until it feels like something's not right if you don't do it. That's it. Constant increase. All right, our meme of today: never up, never in. Never up, never in. Never up, never in. Hear that? Probably not. Never up, never in. So, what does that mean? Well, it's a golf term that I heard when I was a kid learning to play golf, coached by my father. And then we, of course, had actual lessons from a golf pro. But from my father, never up, never in. Don't leave your putt short. Try to go a couple inches beyond the cup. Not a couple feet, just a couple inches beyond the cup, because if you're never up to the hole, you'll never get it in. Don't putt short. What, not a bevy, are you still there? If so, what is the weather in Fort Jacks? How do we do those things? Right you are. Okay. Yesterday, Oh, let's look at Seth Godin. But what do they say at the meeting? This is the way to understand business to business selling. After you've left with the purchase order, what does the buyer tell the boss? What does the boss tell the investors or the press? This helps decode why giant companies like Google or Facebook buy a company or don't. It explains why McKinsey can charge 20 times as much for consulting as a former McKinsey consultant can. It explains why TV ads continue to be purchased and why it's so difficult for a new entity with a better product to get traction. What will I tell my boss is the key question. If you don't have a good answer, the person you're calling on will default to, it's just like we used to have, but cheaper. That means you won't get the order unless you're that organization. And Seth Godin is vehemently opposed to racing to the bottom, to the race to the bottom of cheaper, 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 cheap, 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 cheap. Okay, so what a bevy. How are things in Fort Jack? Warm and kind of humid. Did you spark? Did you make contact with Edward? Okay, let's talk about week 5. Let's talk about day 6 in week 1. See, my brain is on where I'll be in 2 hours. Cool, right? That's kind of cool if you think about it. I can be here doing finger things that I'm learning. I can be here doing that while my brain is 2 hours into the future where I will be doing something different. Wow, cool. Alrighty then. So this is the end of week 1, tomorrow actually, our introduction and orientation to what? To this 4-week course, where we're trying to answer 2 questions. Who am I and why do I behave the way I do? And if we have answers to those 2 questions, then we know we can dial in who we need to be right now by controlling the release of neurotransmitters, by controlling our emotions, which has an impact on our behavior, which has a direct impact on the outcome, which will then reinforce our belief. Okay, so that's week 1, overview and orientation. We're on this journey, we're experiencing this life, etc. How do we make the most of it? That's kind of the question. So if we know who we are and we know why we do what we do, we can have the best experience of this life. We won't be floundering around in a dark room looking for the light switch, right? We'll know, where is the light switch, or do I even need the light switch, right? Fumble around, spend all your time looking for the light switch, you flip it on, only to find out what? There's no doors, no windows. All of that time was wasted. Aha! Why would I be in a room with no doors and no windows? To go inside, to leave the room through my spirit, my imagination, right? Total harmony, total non-interruption, no distractions. I can just focus on going deeper, deeper, deeper into my mind because there's nothing to do in the room. There's no way out. So karate chop chop, as Austin Powers would say when they were filling out the questionnaire of his background information: name, age, sex. Yes, please. Okay. Well, as my old boss Bill Oldenburg said, We don't know where we're going, but we're making good time. Okay, so this is the end of week 1. So we have to prepare for this experience, and the metaphor we use is building a boat to go on this journey. This experience is with a boat. We need a boat to experience the journey. We've got to build the boat. We've got to get a crew, and then when the game is afoot, when the adventure has begun, we need to continue on the adventure. We can't get distracted by external or internal problems. So, what do we learn about the brain? The brain is the consistency of soft butter. It's easily damaged through traumatic brain injury, drugs, alcohol, something growing on the brain, or disease. But through a Brain Smart program, the brain can be fixed, improved. Well, the brain can be, let's say, made better. The brain can be made better through a Brain Smart program. And guess what? This is a Brain Smart program. Day 2, Jordan Peterson. IQ, the importance of IQ, how important IQ is. Know your IQ and know the IQ range of the task or the job, the employment that you have. And what is IQ? Fluid and what? Crystallized. Day 3, addiction. Everything we know about addiction is wrong. Addiction in itself isn't bad. It's isolating from other people. So, what not a bevy? What is the opposite of addiction? Bum, 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 bum. Well, that's not quite right. The Jeopardy tune. Okay, connection. The opposite of addiction is connection, not sobriety. Not sobriety. Okay, so then after that, we learned about Viktor Frankl, man's search for meaning. What is the meaning of life? And the man's search for meaning is to discover that we don't get to ask life, what is the meaning of life? Life asks us, what is the meaning of your life? And we have to make something happen. So in other words, we're given this gift. Use it. You have free will. You're not a marionette. We are not marionettes being played by a puppeteer. We have free will. We have the gift of life. It's not a loan. It's not a bargain. It's not an investment. It's a gift. We can do with it whatever we want. Honor the gift. Cool. Okay, and then today, now we have heroic suffering. So heroic suffering is, how do you keep going when you have nothing to go forward for? So this is the movie The Gray. A suicidal guy gets in a plane crash with a bunch of other guys, and they're chased by a pack of wolves who want to kill them, and they're picking them off one by one. And the suicidal guy with nothing to live for hates his job. His wife died of cancer, whatever, some disease, plane crash, was going to kill himself, blow his brains out. He's the only guy left. What keeps him going? And Viktor Frankl said, when we're unable to change the circumstances, we're forced to change ourselves. And then we see the uniquely human thing of our ability to do that. Our ability to find meaning when there is no meaning. Wow. Now, as we said yesterday, Viktor Frankl got it almost right. But because he wasn't a Christian, he was a Jew, he didn't understand that Jesus laid it out. Love God, love one another, make disciples. If you love me, you will follow my commandments. That's it. 20 minutes. Okay, that's it, people. See you tomorrow on my way to lost wages and Shiva San Shalom home.